checked it out. You can find it on Amazon, which tells my story of kind of how I got from there to where I am now as a wellness advocate, a plant-based nutrition advocate, an ultra-distance triathlete, among other things, blah, 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 or whatever. Not to mention the fact that I'm happily married and father of 4 children. My wife, Julie Pyatt, is here. You want to say hi?
Hi.
My better half by a long shot, for sure. So I wanted to talk about what's going on right now. If you are a fan or read my blog, which is at richroll.com, and you read my most recent post, you know that we have relocated.
Okay, next option here is to go back this way.
We have relocated our family from our home in Malibu Canyon, California, out to Kauai. And right now, there are 7 of us, my wife and I and our kids, as well as our nephew Harrison. And we are living at a place called Common Ground, which is an organic, sustainable farm on the north shore of Kauai. It's a 50-acre sustainable community on this incredibly pristine piece of property that's owned and founded and run by a gentleman named Chris Jabe, who's a really fascinating, interesting guy who I'm definitely going to have as a guest on the podcast, who Julie and I have been talking to over the last couple weeks. He's sort of a new friend, and he's doing some interesting things here, and there were some opportunities here to explore in terms of some new business ventures that he's working on, and that seem to be very in alignment with our mission and what we're doing, and it just made sense for us to come out here and explore that with Chris. So here we are, we're in Kauai, we're living on this farm, and we're living in a yurt village that we share with 4 20-something kids who work the land and work in the restaurant here. There's a phenomenal restaurant on the property here. So if you happen to be in Kauai, you should definitely come by and check out Common Ground. So we've been here about 3 weeks now. We're going to be here through January 10th before we go back to Los Angeles and kind of reassess our situation. So it's been an interesting adventure so far. And if you read my blog post, you know this already. I don't mean to repeat myself, but part of the idea of coming out here was to simplify our lives, to experiment with a more minimal, sustainable way of living, a more sustainable lifestyle, of getting sort of closer to the earth and where our food comes from. And, you know, I've been traveling around. My book came out in May, and since then I've been kind of on the road quite a bit, traveling around and doing book signings and speaking at certain events and conferences like, Veg Fest and the like, meeting tons of people. It's been an incredible experience, and part of my gig when I speak is I talk a lot about repairing our health through plant-based nutrition and sort of developing a more intimate relationship with the foods that we eat and where they come from, and getting closer to nature in that regard. And the truth of the matter is that, after I do my speaking gig and sign a bunch of books, I get on an airplane and I fly home, and then I get in my car and I drive to the Ralph's supermarket or the Trader Joe's or the Whole Foods and buy my groceries at the grocery store just like everybody else. And I try to be conscious in those choices, and I try to purchase foods that are locally grown and that are organic, provided it doesn't break the budget. But I could certainly do better. I don't always look, when I buy a packaged food, I don't always look, well, where was this made and how far did it have to be shipped and what exactly is in it. And I'm probably more conscious of that stuff than most people, but, still, I don't necessarily always pay it, give it the attention that it deserves. And so coming out here to Common Ground and kind of living on this farm is really an effort to greater align my actions with my words. Like, we can do a better job of getting close to where our foods come from. The kids are working in the fields, and we're eating produce that's pulled right out of the ground that day, and and sort of, helping with the with the restaurant in terms of planning more vegan meals, and working with Chris on improving some healthy food options for his kids and the like. And it's been great. It's been really grounding, and it's definitely been an adjustment to kind of get out of Los Angeles and traffic and the distractions and the commute and all the sort of things that come with living a busy urban life, and to just be out here and settle. It's had its highs and it's had its sort of bumps and adjustments, but I think overall we're doing pretty good. And so I wanted to bring Julie in and talk a little bit about why she.
So apparently I'm at another state park. I thought I was going to be in Linn Run State Park, but now I'm at Linn Run Road, but I'm at Laurel Summit State Park. And there's parking right here next to this railroad grade, and I believe this is actually where I met my friend Vince back in March when I did my bigger training run. We did a 3150K, distance training run in the winter to kind of get ready for the ultra, and maybe I'm gonna have to bump it up just a little bit next year because I got 57 miles, and if I do a 40-mile training run, I'll finish. But here we are. Next thing I'll be recording miles. Bye.